When most people think of billionaires, they imagine private jets, luxury estates, and layers of security between them and the rest of the world. But Warren Buffett has never fit that mold. Despite being one of the wealthiest men on the planet, his most powerful asset isn't money, it's integrity. And that integrity was tested in full force during one of the most dramatic financial scandals of the early 1990s. Buffett wasn't just investing. He was stepping in to save the reputation of Wall Street itself. The Salomon Brothers crisis. In the early 90s, Buffett wasn't known for stepping into the spotlight. But when Salomon Brothers, one of Wall Street's most powerful investment banks, was caught in a massive trading scandal, Buffett, already a major stakeholder with a $700 million position, had no choice. The U.S. Treasury considered banning Salomon from trading government securities. Its credibility was in shambles. Investors were panicking. Regulators were circling. Buffett didn't just defend his investment. He took control. He stepped in as interim chairman of Salomon Brothers, not with bravado, but with honesty, humility, and a clear mission: restore trust. In a Senate hearing, he famously told the committee, "If you lose money for the firm, I will be understanding. But if you lose reputation, I will be ruthless." That wasn't just talk. Within weeks, top executives were gone. Over 140 employees were fired. The CEO, John Gutfreund, once one of Buffett's personal favorites, was forced to resign. Buffett didn't flinch. He cleaned house. If you're finding this kind of insight valuable, stories of real leadership and integrity in finance, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. These are the lessons most people overlook, but the ones that matter most when it counts. The country boy with a billion-dollar mind. The world loves a contrast, and Buffett is full of them. He lives in Omaha, Nebraska, not New York, not Silicon Valley, not behind high walls, not surrounded by assistants. In fact, he still lives in the same modest home he bought decades ago. Yes, he sometimes stays in five-star hotel suites. Yes, his suits might cost $1,500. But make no mistake, Buffett's greatest luxury is simplicity. People admire that. They don't just see his success, they trust it, because Buffett isn't trying to impress. He's trying to be effective. He's famous for his homespun humor, for poking fun at himself. Even during the Salomon hearings, one of the most intense financial dramas of the decade, he kept things grounded. "We're spending a lot on legal fees," he joked, "but at least I'll be the American Bar Association's Man of the Year." That's classic Buffett. Disarm with humor, then disarm problem with action. From furniture stores to Wall Street giants, Buffett's style of leadership shows up in how he does deals. 2. Ask Rose Blumkin, the legendary founder of Nebraska Furniture Mart. Buffett walked into her store and said, "I'd like to buy your business." "What do you want?" She replied, $60 million. Buffett shook her hand. 50 minutes later, the deal was done. She got a check. No due diligence teams. No 10 rounds of negotiations. Just trust. That same approach is how Buffett acquired dozens of companies through Berkshire Hathaway. He looks for integrity, strong leadership, and durable businesses. And when he finds them, he moves, not recklessly, not slowly, decisively, holding through the rough spots. Of course, not all of Buffett's investments soar. He's not infallible, and he never pretends to be. Some of his major holdings, like American Express and U.S. Air, have underperformed at times. But Buffett doesn't panic. He evaluates. He adjusts. He plays the long game. His philosophy is simple. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. That patience, combined with discipline and emotional steadiness, has earned him not just billions, but the rarest currency in the financial world: trust. In the next part, we'll explore how Buffett became the reluctant hero of Wall Street, why his personal values shaped his business empire, and how his approach to legacy is unlike anything most billionaires have considered. But before you go, let me ask you something. What's one quality you think every great investor must have, besides money? Drop it in the comments below. You might be surprised how much your answer resonates with others who are watching this with you. Warren Buffett never wanted to be a Wall Street icon. He didn't chase attention. He didn't play politics. He didn't even move to New York. And yet, when one of the biggest scandals in the history of investment banking shook the foundations of Salomon Brothers, the financial world didn't look to a regulator or a politician. It looked to Buffett. Why? Because when trust is gone, you don't call a technician. You call someone with credibility. And Buffett had built that slowly, consistently, and quietly over decades. The reluctant hero of Wall Street, taking over Salomon Brothers, wasn't part of his plan. Buffett had invested heavily in the firm, believing in its leadership, particularly in NCO John Gutfreund. But after a rogue trader broke rules in treasury bond auctions and the firm attempted to cover it up, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Regulators threatened to ban Salomon from government bond trading, a death sentence in that business. Clients fled. The media swarmed. And Buffett? He stepped up. He didn't want the job, but he refused to let silence destroy the firm. At a critical moment, he told the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, "Lose money for the firm, and I'll be understanding. Lose a shred of reputation, and I'll be ruthless." That single line didn't just capture Buffett's values. It redefined what leadership should look like during a crisis. He wasn't there to save a company. He was there to defend a principle. Ruthless with standards, generous with people. Buffett didn't clean house out of vengeance. He did it out of necessity. 140 employees were let go. The firm's leadership resigned. But Buffett never lost his sense of proportion. He didn't walk in as a tyrant. He walked in as a steward. This was the same man who told his own employees and managers, "When in doubt, just do the right thing, even if it's not profitable in the short term." It's a rare kind of leadership, one that treats trust as a core asset, not a nice-to-have. While Wall Street executives scrambled for damage control, Buffett stayed calm. His homespun charm was disarming. His jokes landed even in Senate hearings. And yet, behind the smiles was steel. He was making billion-dollar decisions with the same philosophy he used to buy furniture companies in Omaha. Look the owner in the eye, shake hands, and stand by your word. Why Buffett is different. What separates Buffett from most business icons is not his intelligence. It's his clarity of values. He's never confused wealth with wisdom. He doesn't worship complexity. He doesn't hide behind layers of strategy. And he certainly doesn't believe that money entitles people to compromise their principles. Even his closest associates noticed that difference. His son, Howard, once recalled, he was always working, always had his head buried in the Moody's manuals or company reports. He was focused, but never flashy. Buffett might have stayed in luxury hotels or worn expensive suits, but when it came to building trust, he remained utterly consistent. He made big moves quietly. And when it came time to protect that trust, he didn't hesitate. Legacy over lifestyle. While other billionaires built empires and dynasties, Buffett chose a different path. He's made it clear that the bulk of his wealth will go to charity, not his children. Not out of coldness, but out of a belief that wealth should be earned, not inherited. He wants his children to live with purpose, not entitlement. And that message isn't just for his family. It's for all of us. Buffett once said, "A rich person should leave their kids enough to do anything, but not enough to do nothing." That philosophy shaped his approach to life, business, and legacy. And it's why his decisions still carry weight, not just in finance, but in ethics. Because while his net worth might make headlines, it's his reputation that makes people listen. In the final part, we'll explore Buffett's long-term investing principles, how his buy and hold mindset reshaped modern portfolio strategy, and why his quiet discipline outperformed entire industries. In the meantime, let's flip the lens. What's one value you think should guide every decision? Not just in business, but in life. Share your thoughts in the comments. You might spark a perspective someone else hadn't considered yet. Warren Buffett didn't become one of the richest people in history by chasing trends. He didn't ride meme stocks, swing trades, or short-lived bubbles. He built his wealth the old-fashioned way, by understanding value, avoiding noise, and letting time do the heavy lifting. It's not flashy. It's not viral. But it works. And that's what makes it timeless. The buy and hold mindset that changed everything. When Buffett invests, he's not thinking about next quarter. He's not planning to exit next year. He's buying as if he were purchasing the entire business. One of his most quoted lines is this: our favorite holding period is forever. It's not because he's stubborn. It's because he sees value where others see volatility. Look at Coca-Cola, Apple, American Express, GEICO. These aren't just companies on a spreadsheet. To Buffett, they are cash flow machines with deep moats, consistent demand, and brand strength that will outlast most economic cycles. He didn't buy them to flip. He bought them because he understood them, and because he believed that in the long run, great businesses make great investments. And he's been proven right, time and time again. Why most investors get it wrong. While Buffett waits, most investors react. They jump in and out. They panic during downturns. They get distracted by headlines, Twitter threads, and stock tips from strangers. Buffett stays focused. He doesn't try to predict the next hot sector. He doesn't time the market. He doesn't need to, because the real edge isn't in timing. It's in time itself. And the longer you hold a great business, the more you benefit from the most powerful force in finance, compounding. It's the quiet, patient accumulation of returns on top of returns. The exact opposite of gambling. The exact opposite of hype. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. A strategy anyone can follow. Buffett's strategy doesn't require a billion-dollar portfolio. In fact, he's repeatedly said that the average person would do best by simply investing in an S&P 500 index fund, reinvesting dividends, and holding it long-term. Because over time, the U.S. economy grows. And when it does, the market follows. No need to overthink. No need to overtrade. Just invest consistently. Avoid emotional decisions. And let compounding do the rest. It's not exciting, but it works. And it's one of the most accessible paths to financial freedom ever created. What Buffett really teaches us. In the end, Buffett's story isn't just about money. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what matters, whether in business, relationships, or legacy, and aligning your actions to those values. His wealth is a byproduct of decades of consistency, a refusal to follow the crowd, and an unshakable belief that long-term thinking beats short-term reaction every time. And what he's given to the world is more than a portfolio. It's a blueprint, a reminder that in a noisy, fast-paced world, the quiet thinkers often win. If this message resonated with you, if it challenged you to rethink how you view money, time, or success, here's something worth doing now. Check if you're subscribed to the channel. Seriously, many people watch our videos week after week and never realize they aren't subscribed. Make sure you're not one of them. And once you're in, hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss the next insight that could help you build the future you actually want. Because sometimes the smallest choice, like clicking a button, can open the door to your biggest transformation.